Hey everyone, welcome to a reading, to your daily message. Let's just get right into it because I'm feeling a good energy. I literally, I was just cleaning my room and found this little phone mount that's for like a mirror, and so I kind of just brought it to the car and stuck it on the window. And got excited. You know how you do that when you're cleaning your room and you find all these like old things you had and then you get distracted because you're like having fun using all those things that you found? Maybe that's going to be relevant to this reading. We'll see. Here we are though. I'm going to pull you an oracle. What guidance spirit wants to come through here for this collective from the animal spirit deck? The wild unknown. The wild unknown. Here. Owl, lion, and moth. Owl, lion, and moth. And on the bottom of the deck, gazelle. I saw the lizard peek out too, so that's going to inform this. Okay, multiple messages coming through here. You are leveling up. First of all, I'm getting that you are leveling up into a new, just a new level of your embodiment, a new level of your power, a new level of your authority over yourself and your life, and over your mind as well. This is a gift that you've created for yourself, but you're seeing the effects of it now. You're seeing the effects of this work that you've done on yourself. You're seeing the effects of, I just saw 144 on the timer. You're seeing the effects of committing to yourself and deciding to be loyal to that at all costs, right? You are loyal to yourself now above anything else. You are loyal to your energy, your autonomy, your sovereignty, your time. You're not allowing things to shake you as much as they used to, naturally. You're not as triggered by things as you used to be. You're stronger than you've ever been. And this is not only a gift being given to you now, this state of being and this embodiment, a gift that's simultaneously being given to you, but that you have grown into and created for yourself. This is now a gift for others as well, is what I'm getting. You are a gift to others, a light to others with the Luna moth. You help other people, you help really bring other people to center, is what I'm getting. Like your presence really centers people and really helps people if they're really in their mind, if they're really confused or anxious, or when they start to lose perspective. I feel like you're that person who's able to bring people back to themselves without even trying. Like you just being you gives people like an example to look at and be like, oh, like collective is firm and grounded and centered. I guess I can take a breath too. Gazelle on the bottom of the deck here just confirms that for me. You feel like home. You feel like home to a lot of people. You feel like home to a lot of people because you are home in yourself. You are a home. You've come to realize in life that no matter where you are, if you're in tune with yourself, you're home. And other people can feel that. So other people might be attracted to you for that reason. You make people feel more home than they even feel when they are, like more home than they've ever felt. Now, you're very powerful, very strong, very much a leader, very much a teacher, very much a guide for other people, whether you think you are or not, whether you show up in that role. That is the role that you naturally are for other people, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in your family, whether it's in your friendships. You are somebody that a lot of people look up to. But because of that, you also have to make sure that you're protecting your energy, protecting yourself, protecting your time. and just being aware of that. And I see that you already do that, but I think Spirit is just giving a reminder here. So we have to always be, that's how spiritual knowledge is. It's repetition. We repeat it. We remind ourselves of it. That's what spiritual teaching really at the end of the day is. It's a lot of the spiritual teachings are very simple. They're not hard to grasp, but they're hard to embody because we live in a world that by its very nature wants to complicate everything and wants to take us away from ourselves. So we have to repeat, we have to practice. That's why it's a practice. Mantras, repetitions, right? So repeating and remembering your time and your energy is valuable. I protect my time, I protect my energy, I protect and revitalize and rejuvenate myself when I'm feeling tired, exhausted. Because as a leader, something that you might find as you're stepping further into this role, I'm seeing a deepening of this for a lot of you. Maybe you're going to have more people coming towards you kind of thing. So what I see with that is as more energy is finding you and coming towards you, you're going to need to create more solid boundaries and protect your alone time when you do get it, when you have it, and make sure that when you're spending time in that alone time that you're doing things that are revitalizing you rather than depleting you, because you're going to need that energy to fulfill this role. And it's just who you've become. And deep down, you've always desired to become this. You've always wanted to become this. Even if your ego might be a little bit like, oh, can I really do this? Or is this really what I want? Yes, your soul absolutely does. Because it's not only, like I said before, it's not only a gift to you to finally be embodying who you really are, it's a gift that is giving back and serving the world. Hugely. So always remember while you're doing this that you still deserve to have that time to yourself. You still deserve to be taking care of yourself, okay? Because it can be very easy when energy ramps up, when you start being seen, you start like when you are manifesting, when your manifestation actually starts coming in, when you start receiving something you always wanted and it actually starts to happen, it can cause you to fall back into old patterns. So if you were a people pleaser before, it can cause you to suddenly feel like, okay, like I have to be on, I have to now just like give everything all the time to keep this manifestation. But Spirit's saying, no, the lesson here is take what you've learned here in this time of growth and of probably a hermit mode. You've probably been in a hermit mode for a while, in a time of solitude. Take what you've learned there and still be able to integrate that into a time when maybe more people are now and more energies are now going to be needing you and that you are going to be serving, right? Because that lion, he stands out to me the most here with these three cards. Very, very noble there in the middle. Very regal. He commands respect. And he stands out there to me because lions in the animal kingdom, they're very powerful. Very much leaders of their groups, their prides. But they're not always doing the most. They're often recharging, regenerating, right? And then when it's time for them to act, they act fully. So that's you too, is what I get. But Gazelle too, there's also there are no more predators out there. There's not going to be, there's not this need to be so hyper vigilant or so paranoid anymore. I made a reading yesterday about, your light absolutely activates and awakens certain darkness in others. And it triggers people's emotions 100%. And you will have those energies on the outskirts of things, but because you're so solid now in yourself, it's not something you have to worry about. You'll see it from a mile away kind of thing. Moving forward. So let's get into tarot. Let's get into the tarot and find out more about what's happening in your situation. Maybe get into some more specifics here. Show me here, Spirit. Oh, there's a wasp, bee. I'm seeing a lot of bees today as well, so bees could be significant. Just you're in your flow, you're in your work, your workflow, right? You're enjoying the work, you're creating, you're building, and it feels good to you, maybe for the first time in a really long time. But just always make sure you're taking care of yourself. Ace of Swords, yeah, like you're finding this newfound clarity here in this time. Ten of Swords on the bottom of the deck. It's like, yeah, you're having a breakthrough right now, a major breakthrough. If you're not feeling it quite yet, it's right here on the horizon. Your energy is breaking through at the moment into a new level of being, into a new cycle, into a new story in a lot of ways, a new part of your story, a new chapter. You're coming out of a really painful cycle. You're coming out of a lot of anxiety, a lot of turmoil, a lot of self-sacrifice. Like, you've been through the gauntlet. You've been through the ringer. Every single one of those swords is in his bag. Maybe a lot of betrayal, self-betrayal, betrayal from others, okay? You've been pierced and sliced and diced in every which way, but you're now restarting the cycle. You're starting over, starting from scratch, and there's clarity here. There's clarity about what you need to do, clarity about who you are, and even more important than the clarity about what to do is that clarity about who you are. Because when you have clarity about who you are, everything else will fall into place. Because clarity, and from clarity emerges more clarity. So whatever actions you're taking in clarity are going to produce clear, sparkling, I want to say, magical, conscious, aware results, sustainable results. Like following that intuition, following your path, being centered in yourself as you are, everything you do now, no matter what, it's like it's coming from a place of love, clarity, alignment. And anything that comes from that is going to feel right. It's going to be synchronistic. It's going to be synchronized with the greater intelligence of the universe. I notice this sometimes in my life. Like, there are these moments where when I'm really, really deeply centered and practicing that all the time, things just weirdly start to line up in reality in a way that cannot even be explained by any of our current science or anything like that. It's just like, just pieces start falling together. You'll be walking down the street and somebody will say the exact thing that's the answer to the question you were just asking in your head, and you'll just see all these signs, and you'll have like these scenarios where you run into somebody that just gives you exactly what you needed at that moment. Opportunities will like hit your email that are just so randomly aligned with exactly what you just wanted. Like things like that, right? That clear, open channel of giving and receiving because you are aligned with who you are and you've done the work. So good for you. Good for you. I like this. I like this energy. It feels like heart-centered. It feels like there's a momentum. It feels like there's so much, yeah, 10 of Wands reverse. You are coming out of such a burden is what I'm getting. An Ace of Swords on the bottom of the deck again here. He wants to, like, this ace really wants to show you, like, all clear. The path is clear. Okay? This burden you were carrying before, it's done. It's over. My reading last night as well. The message is clear. Walk away. Like, it's over. All this mess, all this turmoil, all this difficulty, this heaviness, done, complete. And there's all that's left here is just this open space of clarity, and it's like buzzing. It's electric, buzzing with this potential, right? You can do anything here. Anything is possible. Anything. And you're maybe not used to this. You probably aren't used to this feeling of just having such an open, clean slate, but Spirit's saying, here it is. We're gifting this to you. I think that's why I've been also getting a lot of messages about resting, rejuvenating, taking some time, even with all this momentum, even with all this newfound energy, this burst of energy you're feeling, and making sure that even with that, I had a reading recently where the cheetah came out as the main animal, and that cheetah is all about a forward momentum, a huge burst of energy, but always like checking in with your purpose before you start running, checking in with your why before you start running. And I feel like this could be that period that has also been coming up in some of my readings of just resting, taking time to replenish, rejuvenate, like just reflecting on this, like it's like reaching the plateau on the mountain, right? You've been climbing this mountain, now you're at the plateau, and you're just kind of refueling, because you know this next part of the climb is going to be really quick paced, exciting, clear. Like it's that part of the hiking trail, for example, that everybody talks about. It's like you climb, and it's like, oh, I'm not even, you know what I'm talking about. Like you're climbing this hiking trail or something on a mountain, and you're like, this isn't even good. Like I'm not even seeing anything. And then you get to that point where there's like the view, or there's that part of the hiking trail, the walk along like the side of the mountain where you can see everything, and it's just like, whoa, and then it makes that whole climb worth it. I feel like this is that part of the journey for you where you're finally reaching that part where now you're gonna get to see the views. Like now it's just gonna kind of be like, it's more fun, more easy breezy, effortless flow, because you did the hard work. Three of Swords on the bottom of the deck here. You've been through a lot of heartbreak, you've been through a lot of pain. Like Spirit's wanting to, you know, really stress that, but now it's like equilibrium. Six of Pentacles. You've given so much. You have been so generous with your time and your energy. In so many ways, like I'm seeing it as like you've been generous to others, and you may not even see yourself as being as generous as you are to others, but you are. You're very generous with your time, with your energy, with what you give to the world. But you've also been generous to yourself. You've really put a lot into yourself and into healing. And that, again, like that is not only just for you, that ripples out. When you do that work on yourself, when you love yourself fully, it ripples out to the whole world around you. And because of that, you're going to be receiving exactly what you put out, coming back to you. An evening of the scales. So all that energy you've been investing will come back to you as reward. And then that reward that comes back to you, you're just going to be able to put that right back into more creativity and more enjoyment and more giving back and service. Like it's just this never-ending cycle, this loop of abundance that gets shared. That's the heart chakra, right? Prosperity. It's that giving and receiving and that interconnectedness of all of life, that community. And that's something we need so much more of right now. Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck. It's childlike joy. Like I'm getting that you're in a period right now where you're revisiting themes that you experienced when you were a kid, maybe forgotten dreams, maybe forgotten enjoyments, forgotten pleasures, forgotten magic, but you're re-experiencing that now. Maybe there's even been a grief process, or maybe there still is some grief that has to be processed over things you feel you missed out on, or things you feel that had to be put away to deal with this difficult cycle. But Spirit's saying, like, we're giving all that back to you and more. You're gonna get this. You're not even, like, you are this. You are the Six of Cups. You're innocent, you're magic, you're playful, you're joyful. And because of that, we're giving you that feeling. You gave this to yourself. You gave this feeling to yourself. You set it up to finally get to play again. You did all the hard letting go. You cut the cords. You made the arrangements that needed to be made with situations that weren't serving you anymore, people and places that weren't serving you anymore. You made the hard moves, even when you didn't know what was gonna come next. You didn't know, like, if I quit my job, am I gonna find another one? Am I gonna make money? If I speak up to, you know, this higher up in this company, like, is there gonna be repercussion? Like, am I gonna get fired? Like, you have done those hard things, those things that have taken courage. So you're being rewarded with a time of peace, is what I'm getting, a time of great peace. with that gazelle on the bottom of the deck and the lizard too. Like, the gift is like that owl. The gift is getting to be who you always knew you were going to be, and watching your external reality reflect that fully now, on this part of the journey at least. It's like a sense of just completion, love, joy, peace and pleasure, and just radiance, like you just being you. I love that. I love this for you, Spirit. Collective. I almost said Spirit. I love this for you, Spirit. I love this for you, Collective. You're one and the same. You're one with Spirit now. You're dancing as your highest self, as your higher self, as your soul self, as your God self, your God consciousness. You're one. Four of Wands. Celebration. Celebration. King of Cups reverse on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. But I'm kind of holding him upright too here towards you. So there's a bit of like a hesitance here, maybe. A hesitance to fully celebrate yourself. A hesitance to fully, hesitation. A hesitation to fully celebrate yourself. A hesitation to fully own that this is where you're at. You're used to fighting, you're used to pushing, you're used to battling it out. So it's like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? You're like, okay, when's the next one coming? Gotta be prepared, gotta be on the watch. Spirit's saying, no, it's celebration time. It's time for you to celebrate yourself. It's time for you to have peace, have some rest, have some playtime. Yeah, it's like you're watching out for that emotional turmoil, that emotional manipulation again, whether you've been manipulated by other energies outside yourself, whether you've just been disappointed by life, whether you've had to deal with things that were not quite what they said they were, and you thought things were going to be a certain way, and then they were just emotionally unfulfilling, etc. Like that King of Cups reverse, it's just like the things that you sought out to do, or the things that you thought other people may have been doing. It's like you were disappointed and maybe manipulated and maybe treated poorly. So yeah, of course it's natural. It's natural to be like, okay, well, you know, this is how my life usually goes. Everything just kind of always falls apart for me. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be. And sometimes the more we focus on that, the more we kind of subconsciously self-fulfill that prophecy, and we seek it out and create it again. But if you are able to just let go of that and recognize, I deserve to be happy, I deserve to celebrate, like I've come so far, then you get that. You deserve to celebrate yourself, and you deserve to be celebrated by others as well. Spirit's celebrating you, I can guarantee it. And if Spirit's celebrating you, like I said, you are Spirit. Spirit is one with you. So therefore, you are, or should be, also celebrating yourself and celebrating. Life is a celebration, one big celebration. Those just fell on the ground. Ooh, here comes the realness. So, okay. We have Four of Swords came out. I don't know what these other cards are yet. And Seven of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Oh. We have the Moon. On the other side of this, we have the Moon. I'm burping, so this is important here. The World in reverse and the Hanged Man. Okay, yeah, like I'm getting that you had to take a real detour. You had to go into survival mode, is what I'm getting here, in a lot of ways, to deal with whatever you just came out of. Six of Wands peeking out. More celebration. Spirit really wants you to know, like, you should celebrate yourself for getting through what you just got through. Because with Seven of the Swords on the bottom of this deck, it's like you were dealing with so much deception, so much confusion, so much manipulation, so much like just cutthroat, like competitive. I'm getting just unfair, weird energy. My reading from yesterday might be very significant for you. The what's it called? Your radiance activates darkness in others. Don't be fooled by false intentions. I feel like you had a lot of people or a lot of energy just taking you for a ride. And not just in like insignificant or harmless ways, which is it ever harmless? But you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just like fooling around. Like, this affected your life. This affected your life big time. And you really had to go into this Four of Swords. Like, you really had to go within. And I'm hearing like transmute and like shift reality from within to get out of this is what I'm getting. You had to like, the odds were stacked against you on the outside. It looked like the odds were stacked against you. It looked like there was no way for you to deal with this. And so you really had to like go inside and go into like a winter season of your life. You had to go into a winter season and like die and be reborn and really look at things in a different perspective with the Hanged Man here as well. Like, you had to really surrender to spirit. This cycle was to force you to surrender to your spirit and to your intuition more than you ever have in your life. With the moon here too, forcing you to confront your shadows, forcing you to like surrender to self-undoing, to surrender to illusions. Like, I feel this could have been a years-long process too. We had a lot of astrology in Pisces over the last few years, like Saturn in Pisces, the North Node's now in Pisces. We had Neptune in Pisces just at the final degrees. So like, I feel like during this time there was like a lot of illusion, like a lot of shadow, a lot of weird deception, delusion, confusion being brought to surface to be dealt with, which is not easy. Pisces is like the final zodiac sign. It's like, to me, the pinnacle of everything that all the rest of the zodiac signs have learned. So Pisces is like the final boss, if you will. So I'm saying, listen, Pisces have a reputation. For my Pisces, I don't have any Pisces in my chart, but Pisces have a reputation for being very like sensitive and kind of like easily taken advantage of, etc. But Pisces is no joke. Like, to me, Pisces is like the elder of the zodiac. It's all the lessons wrapped up in a final kind of completion. And it takes real strength. Like, Pisces energy is no joke. It takes a real strength to be able to surrender to those self-undoings, to those endings, to seeing how intense and powerful the unconscious can be. And I won't go too deep into that because I could keep going into the depths here. But that's what you've had to face. That's what you've had to deal with. Like, delays with the world in reverse. You've had to deal with delays. You've had to deal with cycles that just would not end. Cycles that felt like they should be ending but just weren't ending, and you had to like keep repeating things, or you had to keep seeing things in a new light, or you just felt like what you were doing wasn't working. It's like yeah, I'm just getting such a soul siphoning, soul sucking energy. Like, you were put in like it's like somebody wanted to keep you. I'm getting like Ursula. We talked about this in the reading yesterday, like stealing your voice, like some kind of sea witch, some kind of just dark energy, whether that person's conscious of it or not, just stealing you and your energy and your voice and trying to like keep you in a bottle. I'm getting so many weird visions right now. Like, you know, like those ships in a bottle. Like, I'm getting that somebody wanted to keep you in like a bottle like that. Isn't there a part in Aladdin that's like that? I haven't seen that movie since I was a toddler, like a kid, but I remember specifically this part where it's like she gets trapped in an hourglass or trapped in a jar or something. Yeah, weird stuff like that. Cinderella getting trapped locked in her room. It's like that vibe by the evil stepmother. because these energies know how powerful you were and are. So you had to face all this in a winter, in a cold, dark night of the soul kind of thing. But you made it through. You really, really made it through. I have the King of Wands coming out here, right underneath that Seven of Swords. You powered through. You learned to take charge. You learned you have a lot more power than you realize. And maybe like a lot of the power and a lot of the entrapment you were feeling was very much an illusion. My mom told me about this experiment they did on an insect or something, on a spider recently, where like they would draw a circle on a piece of paper around the spider, or an ant, something like that, and that ant or spider would not leave the circle because they thought they were stuck. But then there was something where as soon as the ant or spider actually found out they could cross the line and go about, they were never able to repeat the same trick. 31:13 on the timer. Don't know why that's significant. They were never able to repeat the same trick. And that spider ant never fell for it again. They realized, oh, like my entrapment in that drawn circle was an illusion. And I feel like that's what it's like in this situation with you. You were trapped in something, but it was an illusion. They never actually ever had real power over you. It was all just casting those shadows, casting a big talk that was never actually going to be followed through on, because these people have, or this situation, it's like they have so many skeletons in their closet and they're so afraid of being exposed that they know trying to like expose you would just totally blow the whole thing up for them. So you got away is what I'm getting. You got away. And now you're in this cycle, this peace, this celebration time. Because you're the King of Wands, that lion, Leo season keeps coming up. You know how to take charge now. You know how to not take BS. You know how to be discerning. You know what matters and what doesn't. You know how to channel your instincts. Like, you know how to channel those instincts and those sort of impulses that come up within you. You know how to channel those into organizing and creating something that's actually beneficial, not only for yourself, but for everyone involved. And you're inspiring. You inspire people with that passion, that fire, that instinct. Is there anything else here, Spirit? Today in my garden, I'm seeing a lot of like butterflies. I guess, well, they're not really butterflies. They're cabbage moths. And if you know, you know. They're still beautiful. Still beautiful. Nine of Pentacles, Ten of Wands. The Sun reverse. Okay, this is kind of just repeating itself. Seven of Wands. It's like, yeah, your abundance was stolen from you in this cycle, essentially. Like, who you are was really blocked, really siphoned with this heavy weight that you had to carry. Like, there was so much more put on you than you were supposed to carry. You were, like, piled on, is what I get. People piled on you. Maybe because you called something out. Maybe you're a whistleblower of some kind. Maybe you... as you became more authentic, you exposed other people and that caused them to panic. And so rather than facing themselves and actually dealing with the situation maturely, it's like they just tried to bury you and steal from you. Sun in reverse, though, you never get, and Seven of Wands here, you never gave up. You were always still radiant and light. Even if that light was made a little bit dimmer, you never ever went out. It never went out. You always, that was always there, and it was always pushing you forward. It was always the engine. And people could see that. People knew that. And that's why they tried so hard to keep you down. That's why they do and have tried to keep you down, because they can see how powerful your light is. But you stood tall. You stood your ground. And you continue to stand your ground. And now that's probably a lot easier for you to do than it was in the past, isn't it? You're a lot stronger. You're a lot stronger now than you used to be. And that was also the purpose of this cycle. Sometimes we don't understand why we're going through what we go through in life. But I heard it said once, souls, when we enter this life, we come here to embody something. We come here to learn certain lessons. So if you came here to embody strength, radiance, confidence, power, empowerment, then you had to go through disempowerment, feeling weak, so that you could see how powerful you really are. And yeah, I think that's your reading. I really do. I think that's about it. I'm going to leave you with one last message here from the Infinite Wisdom of the Chakras deck, because I got to get going. But I'm really proud of you, collective. You've been through a lot, and you deserve this time of peace here. This time to really just bask in who you've become. No more predators. No more predators to get you, because you'll clock it. You'll clock it before it can even happen. All right, Spirit, what's the closing message for them here? What's some chakra wisdom? Insight, spiritual teacher. Connect with a spiritual teacher and tap into higher wisdom. That's the third eye there. It's a third eye / crown card, I believe. So I see you as this spiritual teacher in a lot of ways, and your own inner guru, your own inner higher self, tapping into that and just allowing that to lead you and guide you now. Trusting that will not lead you astray. And the more you trust it, the stronger your connection to spirit becomes, the more unstoppable you become, and the more firm in yourself you become. The more safe you feel in life. So that's your reading. I hope this helps. I love all of you so very much. I see all of your comments. I try to respond to as many as I can, and I see your donations as well coming in. Thank you to everybody who sent those. That is so meaningful, so beautiful. I never expected in a million years to see it the way I'm seeing it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for all your generosity. Let's just keep going with this. Let's just keep living our lives and keep lifting the world up. So that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.